Yo, hello. So, I have a whole setup here, as you can see. Very intricate. I may just have to take it handheld at the end here just to show you how swell it really is, how much decorating I have truly done. Um, so, that'll be fun. There's something to look forward to. I think there's a whole meal still stuck in my teeth. So, that's very discreet and classy of me. But yeah, just had a lovely feast. My bestie came over, and that was a nice surprise. Pardon my squinty eyes. That like full, tired, the tryptophans, even though I heard that's just a myth. But it's gotten ingrained in my brain, so I've convinced myself that I'm quite tired after this really lucky, bountiful feast that we just had. So a lot of mixed feelings always on this day, on this holiday, and I guess that's where my poem's coming from. I wore my mother's Nightwalker shirt. This was an organization in town run by a man named Louis Trujillo. I remember doing a lot of fundraisers and stuff and help and just being very involved in the organization when I was youngin', and they would gather huge truckloads of goods for reservations and indigenous people who were not doing well and didn't have the things they needed. And I saw a lot of suffering. And it stuck with me. And, you've heard me in my blabbering and my things in my mind. And I don't know how to fix the world, and I really do like a lot of the hallmarky, cheesy stuff that we have invented, created, or stolen. But it's hard to find that balance of like seeing the imbalance and then trying to go forth and celebrate. And I try to do it for the right reasons and speak my feelings and do my own sort of ceremonies for the first peoples of this land that did not plan on seeing our lily white asses coming over on ships. So I'm glad I'm here, but I don't know. And it hurts. And I don't know what to make of it sometimes. Yeah, it's just confusing, It's like, the cake is kind of bad for you, but you eat it anyway because it tastes good. It's just sort of like that whole thing. So I love cheesiness, corniness, songs, revelry, being with family, doing it for the right reasons. Never will go Black Friday shopping ever. Ever. I mean, not mainstream anyway. Not in my lifetime. But I like to unwind and, cook and watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, as I'm about to do now. I love the cute stuff, but you can't really ignore the other stuff either. So it just makes this kind of storm in my thoughts this time of year, always. And the haves and the have-nots and the robots, and it's a lot. So I'm just trying to give a voice to it, trying to acknowledge it. And you may hear this poem and be like, ugh, what a hypocrite. What are you doing? And it's kind of like, I don't know. I try to give as much as I can and put forth as much as I can in terms of goodness and light. But, I'm not out there fighting the really, really tough fight. I'm not pursuing a career as like a UN ambassador. I'm not doing anything super mighty impressive, but God is blessed. I don't know. I do try to be a good human and sometimes I hope that that's enough. I know it's probably not. It's tough. So, pick up what you will from it. I'm kind of just acknowledging all of the flaws and rawness and contradictory nature of like realizing that we've taken something that isn't ours, but then still liking the twinkly lights and the star on top of the tree and the things that make you say, oh gee, isn't that sweet. But it's like, you know, and I've said this on my channel and my thoughts and my poems before, it's kind of like the more you dig into anything, the more you're like, oh, whoa, oh, I didn't know it was started by that guy. Oh my God, he's oh shit. And they did what? Yeah, you can find a rut on any smooth road. You feel me? Feel what I'm saying? So yeah, anyway, I wore this shirt because it was a throwback to an organization that I think did a lot of good. And like when the whole nightmare of the Dakota Access Pipeline was in its most horrible part of the timeline, and they were like blasting good people with fire hoses and such, and just committing atrocities, repeats of atrocities. My mom and I donated a ton of stuff to Pine Ridge and to a couple other reservations that I can't think of right now. And my mom even like went with this lovely woman in a like janky semi truck that they had rented to like bring supplies, and drove through like horrible storms. And again, I'm not saying that like saves the day or makes everything okay, but it's good to contribute in that way, I think, and to not just like blink and go, I don't know what you're talking about, let's eat turkey, and look the other way. I mean, and I eat the turkey, so it's murky waters, I guess you can say. What a hypocrite. You shouldn't judge it if you eat the turkey. And it's like, I don't know, I still eat the turkey, so there's me. I'm a flawed human, I guess. It's like, it's hard to completely stand fully, firmly on your ideals and what you feel, and deal. It's hard to deal. And we are a contradictory species, and we don't have our shit together or all figured out. But we can shout love, tout love, give love. And I don't know. Sometimes I just hope that does the trick. So here we go. I am going to read you a poem now. I did bring this little show and tell because I thought it was quite cute. This is from my elementary school days. And we had to put on this turkey what we are thankful for. And I put books, dad, mom, slumber parties. I thought I spelled it wrong. Slumber parties, grandma, 107.9 radio station, rap, obviously, and grandpa. Rap gratitude. I think I was 6 years old when I made this. So you can see early on. And I'll show you some other show and tell things. I'm very proud of my decorations this year. Oh, and my best friend brought me these flowers and showered me with love. So that was a really nice feeling that I needed. A little boost. But yeah, so this was just every year. I love to watch the Macy's Day Parade. I love it. Love that tradition. Even though there's a lot that comes out that's like, whoa, kind of cringy. America, huh? Yeah. But there's a lot of it that's lovely and beautiful too. It's like all the things that I kind of get upset about or shake my fist about, you can find beauty in it too. Nothing is one thing. The Venn diagram, I always talk about it. We're in it. It's real. It's a part of everything. So these are just mixed feelings I felt about our history, our country, the parade, and then I, of course, watch the dog show. And I don't really have any mixed feelings about that necessarily, except that it's just adorable and heartwarming and makes me go, oh! So that's nice. Although I'm sure it has a dark side, right? Doesn't everything? I'm sure it has a dark side. I'm sure people could send me a million facts and be like, oh, did you know? And I'd be like, oh, fuck. But it's okay. I'm just gonna share some realness with you, because that's what I do. This is just what I felt, and maybe it's not cohesive at all. I think it was a little bit all over the place, but it's just many feelings I had throughout the day. Here we go. It's called A Hodge-Podge of Holiday Feelings Many Try to Dodge. We all know it's stuffing ourselves silly day, but did you know Thomas and Ruth Roy of Wellcat Holidays also deemed today National Blasé Day? I must say, I don't blame them. I'm on the mend from a stretch of overwhelming blasé, but I'm trying to raise my celebratory vibrations. I do get impatient with humans who don't seem to make many progressive leaps more often than every few centuries. Our nation steeped in traditions taken from a whole litany of other countries. I am beyond thankful to be comfy with my family, but I still have awareness that America is part brilliance, part beauty, and part regrettable calamity. We're a mix of ego quirks, kind-giving people, total jerks, humility, hard work, and an undeniable host of abilities and ideas that set us apart and influence our art. But though we pride ourselves on being free, historically, we also sometimes act horrendously. We're stupendous at our best, often tremendous, other times duplicitous. We make a fuss about big screen TV sales, but fail to notice the people living in the parking lot outside the strip mall. We fall into habits of putting blinders on, but I can certainly understand why we sometimes need to tune it all out with vapid pop songs. We're a strong country, but a polarizing one. I think the last few years many of us have forgotten how to have fun. We haven't had a ton of levity, and many have questioned what is and isn't true. But hey, look at Blue's Clues, still crushing it. OG Steve making us cry out here, because we want to steer backwards and maybe swerve things a bit different. Should we be intermittent fasting, feasting on turkeys and pigs, rigging the whole thing, or blasting our opponents? Regardless of what's next, we stole this land, and we should own up to it. Atone for it. They give the indigenous people's ceremonial prayer about 15 seconds of airtime. It's a bad look and a bad sign. And it grinds my gears more that then Jimmy Fallon gets a whole ass indulgent mini movie musical for his dumb, cocky, Lay's addictive potato chip commercial. What a strange orbiting circle we inhabit. Hoda and Savannah come on to say, hurry up, grab it while you can. Every man, woman, and child can have a free NFT of Macy's balloons. Come on, this weird future came on too soon. Cartoons I don't recognize sail through the New York City sky. Then 20 people try to control a giant Sinclair. We turn dinosaur fossils into gasoline and make it seem like it's all really cute. And you might buy that if you're not particularly astute. I do like the flutes and tubas of the marching bands, and the skilled hands spinning flags. The high school renegade regiment deserves to brag. They proudly play Oklahoma, I hear Savannah say. Yeehaw! We sure jaw a lot with prideful red, white, and blue banners, but we notoriously don't have the best manners, nor the most admirable. Pulling land out from under the feet of whole entire societies and saying, mine, in perpetuity with annuity and dividends and lenders. We go on these benders of pillaging and have a reputation for whole cities full of village idiot types stealing the rights to other people's stories. We tweak our own allegory. Here comes a balloon warrior from Dragon Ball Z, followed by my favorite homie, the longest running public service character in advertising history, Smokey the Bear. Even though I don't really care for the six-pack version, everything changes with time. Al Roker chimes in with, only you can prevent wildfires, in a deep voice like Isaac Hayes. Al Roker's microphone is on, ladies and gentlemen, Savannah chuckles sweetly. He's so funny and badass all the time, zooming around in his parade sidecar. By far the most genuine dude in broadcasting. Then there's blasting bass for more and more and more cheerleaders in America's face. The Mashpee Wampanoag dancers didn't get much more than a hasty passing mention. They were the only ones setting the intention with spirit, so clear that you can hear it without them speaking. Why are we out seeking deals on appliances when we should be defiant against underpaid workers getting jerked around to make shit that will be found in a landfill within a few years? The parade switches gears to dancing bowling pins. More distraction. You can hear Al's satisfaction with his own silly jokes. He does know how to uplift the folks watching and make a more genuine ritual of decking the halls. He says of the bowling setup, "They've come to have a ball, and pins, and shoes. Find your lane and let the good times roll." Of course, the terrible toll that's been taken on our environment is not something we put in the parade. But I do love Al. He screams out his genuine love for his pal, Baby Yoda. Diversions and yoga with many lattes save the day for us Americans as we play Russian roulette with our planet's fate. But it's all great and satiated in the land of Black Friday besieging and not much contemplated about corporate thieving. But at least there's a few out there still believing with all their hearts in Black Santa. We pantomime reactions to green screen fighting figurines. Disney characters sing, "It doesn't matter where you come from," but they don't include in their jingle that you better have a big lump sum to have fun at any of their parks. Wherever you're from, you won't see that magic spark unless you can shell out extra to park and eat and get the app and extra fees. And just to say a few wheeze and feel a little at ease, you'll shell out thousands for even a small family. The temperature in New York City is a chilly 42 degrees, but in addition to Vixen and Prancer, here come 600 Spirit of America dancers. And apparently the Spirit of America is uniformity and acting real sexy in neon and being squeezed by your tiny, tiny outfit. All the women have tit and butt hugging burlesque-ish fits, while the dudes are kicking it in puff coats, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, and gloves. And the ladies rub their long legs suggestively, albeit festively. Arrestingly beautiful, truly. But must we always be dutifully bound to the ground rules set for gender inequality from 95 Macy's parades ago, and even further back? This slow-mo growth is staggering. You know, Mick Jagger and his 80-year-old having new babies got it made with his 30-year-old lady on his arm swagger. And if a woman did it just the same, it would not be seen as mad game, most admirable. She'd be pulled apart as an old fart cougar. But Jagger, we idolize for it. Every pop hit gives me the same blasé feeling. Ain't We All American by Mickey Guyton gives me a little hope, but not enough to cope with the trite acts making zero impact yet earning fat stacks for it. But I guess it hits plenty of people in their feels, 'cause they go peel those lofty price tags off only to toss it in a pile of shit they won't listen to in a month. Is it just me, or did America's growth stunt many news cycles back? I can't quite track the moment we fractioned, but I wish we could get it back in some positively conducive rhythm. Now so many feel a bit jaded and faded by limits. We think it's a contest, a grand prize, and we must win it, when we could begin it anew with a better balance, with so many more of us making it through rather than sacrificing so many so that a few can have exploding, overflowing horns o' plenty. But the big cheeses would rather flash their Fendi than lend a hand to those in need. Shoot, sorry, off on a tangent. Come on, Al, distract me from the existential wondering. The Thundering Mustangs marching unit does the trick. Pretty quick heartwarming effect. More than half of their selected high school marching band had never been on an airplane, so probably never gained from a hand to give them a lift. The parade does deliver the gift of moments you can hang your hope and a twinkling star upon. Some songs really get it poppin' for the true holiday spirit, which should be about the ability to hear it when someone's hurting and turn up their feeling worthy dial a bit. not sit there unfazed or look away. But hey, then one of my favorite Christmas jams begins to play. Kazoos get brought out for I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. See a hippo hero standing there, no crocodises. That cute number slides along, and I see more strong reminders that there's consumer products for every cute idea. And of course, mass media VR hypnosis packages to put under every tree. It's downright scary. But I can't stop staring at 200 synchronized jump ropers. I mean, I can get down with that. There's an example of some impactful showmanship and showwomanship. These are all little snippets of what I thought, watching the parade, as I do every year. I feel fears because I do love this country, but there's a lot I've got beef with, though. It's a flow that goes many directions. We make our selections of what to pay attention to. I love the glitter as much as you, and more than the next guy. But when people continue to senselessly die and suffer, it's hard to buffer it with glitter. I want to save everyone and pick up all the litter. I don't know the solution, but I don't think we'll fix it all on Twitter. We're a melting pot that's simmering in an interesting stew. I get stuck trying to decide what to do. But anywho, lots of crisscrossing, tossing thoughts. I put my objections into a specific spot in my mind. At the holidays, I try to be very kind. I also rotate through many changing attitudes. I love the food, and the parade does get me in the mood. It's not my intention to be rude when I express the view that we should spend more time helping others than we do figuring out who's getting under the covers with celebrities. And we should celebrate inner beauty more than wrinkle creams and beauty queens. They even praise the women who dream of a better day through science achievement and space exploration. But they did it by showing a female astronaut focused apparently on looks and flirtation, applying her wrinkle cream. 'Cause she may be a genius, but she'll scream if she sees crow's feet. Like, oh, okay. Is this why women always feel the need to compete and compare? Why can't we dare to show a woman thriving without all that surface shit driving her? But they blur over that vanity insanity status quo as an old favorite enters the show. Peanuts and NASA continue to work together. Snoopy is scheduled for a trip into space. Then some hot new pop singer with a pretty face barely lifts a vocal finger, lip-syncing poorly, and they comment that he will surely continue on his meteoric rise because he has pretty eyes and that great recognizable hairstyle. Gotta have a signature hairstyle. Pair it with a killer smile and your lyrics don't need to pile on anything other than charm and catchiness. Goodness bless those with lyrical and vocal talent beyond compare who no one cares about because maybe they're not as fair, or maybe they're unwilling to bear enough skin, or can't quite manage filling out the tiny little bustiers often required to get pop praise. I can say that I do recognize the contradiction in the fact that the depiction of the Rockettes sets an unattainable beauty standard, and it's hard to spot one or two women of color among them every year. Their Barbie bodies are, I fear, not a common type. You have to be born with a big helping of luck. But if they thought they could instruct a 5'5", less than flexible 36-year-old, I'd be bowled over to be one of them. I can't pretend that I don't bend to some of the commercialism that tends to accompany the holidays. But I raise my glass of non-alcoholic sparkling cider to those who have had to cinch their purse strings tighter and are unflinchingly kind to other humans. And to those who can't help but be fuming that we still don't give enough reparations, representation, or resources to the indigenous people that we forced out of their homes and then claimed we owned, something that was theirs for 20,000 years or more. Beneath the pop music score, I hear a kind man on TV say, "Give honor where it's due." Truer than true. Let's get more of that well-deserved honor in view and less of this obedience on cue and clearly ill-fated string of conformities, cliches, and disparities endlessly regurgitated. Then a commercial break. It's a sentimental little cartoon story they tried to make so wholesome and endearing. Then I saw what company it was for, and man, did it turn to being so fake. Fuck your homophobic, hate-filled chicken, Chick-fil-A. Try to make a heartwarming Hallmark ad to cover your bad practices. Go away. But then Al comes back in to save the day with his adorable SpongeBob voice. All people have the choice to be an Al or an Ebenezer. We can give out warmth or put our hearts in the freezer with the leftovers. We can recharge our motors with generosity and light, or choose to chug along, waving a fist and spiting every bump in the road. Our progress is severely slowed when we don't allow connectivity and honor the collective in all its confusing vastness. As we fatten our asses, I think it's also important we get up off them to spend the time that inevitably passes by giving love. We should also grasp the fact that we are all flawed. Give gratitude as you fill your jaws and take pause to know that we place our feet on a land that still possesses a blessed heartbeat that we should learn and teach much more about. I do not doubt that there's much more we can do, but that step, at least, is within our reach and view, if we choose. Blue's Clues, making a comeback. I know it was a little all over the place. I hope it had some impact. It was just unfiltered thoughts while watching the parade. That's basically what I had to say there. Is just, hey there, this is what I feel. Before this very indulgent meal, this is what I feel. So, little show and tell. I'm going to post a bonus footage of changing Two-Hand Luke, but I did add a little to him since his speedy change here. This is one of my favorite shirts. So, Two-Hand Luke is obviously a very lily white, very pasty Caucasian fellow, but he supports Indigenous people and respect. So this is my little setup, and I'm very proud of it, and I love it. This is like a corn mold from, I think, like a really long time ago. Like, it's very old, I think, and weighs like a whole lot. And this was in my poem, so I had to get a shot of it. It's the Horn o' Plenty. I should have researched more. I know that my brain knew at one time what the Horn o' Plenty was all about and where it came from, and now I just can't think of it, and I feel dumb, but it's okay, because I know that it's in my mental Google somewhere. And these turkeys, and this beautifully carved Native American man that we've had for a heck of a long time. Oh, wow. By Zelda Fast Horse. Wow, that says exactly. It's an Ogallala Sioux. Man, there we go. There's information right there at our fingertips. Written on actual paper. And beautiful fleurs from my bestie. Love that a lot. So there's my decorative abilities. Look at that. And this turkey is really cool, and I've had him since I was 5. Very long time. And my boo was sweet enough to make a fire. Oh, you can't really see it. It's down to the embers, but it's making things very cozy. So, not all rosy insights. Some anger, some uncertainty, but, all in all, just feelings that came from me. And that's what I do. I just give them to you. I just go, here you go. Like it, love it, hate it. Listen to it over and over again. Don't listen to it at all. Like I said, we've all got choices to put our voices out there, hear each other's voices, or do none of that, right? You can just choose. So, from Two-Hand Luke and I, to you, happy Thanksgiving, and please give honor to how we got here, because it's pretty clear how that story goes, and we can't just throw it away. So that's what I have to say, and thank you for joining me today, and as always, I will bring you more. There's more in store until we get to that 365 goal. Whew! We're going to get there, buddy. We're going to get there. All right. Hope you're digesting well, and it's been swell. See you next time.